Hello everyone, this is Rachel with Mic Drop Miniatures. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to make this living room box. This is a series of room boxes that I'm making that you can hang on your wall or simply display on a shelf. The possibilities are really endless. So to get started, you're going to need a few supplies. Some super glue. I apply it with a toothpick. I also like to use a cup to pour it in so I have more control. You're going to need some tape. I like just to hold my pieces together while they dry, and wood glue. I like to use a combination of super glue and wood glue. The chemical reaction of these two glues when mixed gives more of an instant bond because, well, I hate waiting for glue to dry. So to get started, we are going to start with the fireplace. These right here are bookshelves, so we're just going to set these to the side. We're going to need those later. So all the pieces go together pretty much the same. You are going to put them together like a puzzle, making sure before we apply glue. So I know that this piece is wrong. I'm going to flip it, and this goes on the bottom. So yes, it's just a puzzle, putting it together, and then we will glue. So I know this piece is wrong. I got to flip that. All right, so now all my pieces are lining up. And I'm just going to kind of eye where to put the glue. So I know I'm going to need a thin strip of glue on this edge. And I love my fine tip glue bottle. Definitely a must-have in the miniature when creating miniatures. And then I'm going to, with my toothpick, just add a little bit of that super glue. Now, if anything is worse than super gluing your fingers together, I hate that feeling. So that's where I like to use the toothpick. It makes it just so much cleaner and easier. So I'm going to put the piece in place, and then I'm going to grab some tape, and that's going to help me keep the pieces together while it dries. I'm impatient. Everyone always says, oh, when you make dollhouse miniatures, you have so much patience. And sometimes I really don't. So the tape really helps too, so you can just keep on trucking it and gluing all the pieces together. All right, so the next process is you're going to do the side. Again, adding a thin strip of glue to the sides. And you'll start to see a pattern. Like so for the sides, I know that I put here and here. And so it'll go pretty easy then once you start knowing where all the glue goes. So if you like puzzles, you're definitely going to love putting together these little fun room boxes. What I love about these is they don't take up much room. And really I can design them however I want. And to be honest, I think they're pretty inexpensive, so you can make several and give them as gifts. Maybe design it or decorate it like someone's living room. That's always fun. Put some personal touches for your friends. I think they would make great wedding gifts, birthday gifts. I mean, I would like to get miniatures for any holiday, wouldn't you? All right, so I know I need glue here, and I'm going to need it on the tops. And just like before, I'm going to, when I'm done here, add my super glue. And I forgot this piece. And so this is the second piece in the series. It's going to be related to my Dollhouse Miniature subscription box. So this one that's coming out is a pet themed. So I thought, oh, perfect living room, because that's usually where my pets are hanging out, sitting in my favorite chair. The first series was a kitchen. You'll definitely want to check that one out. It was so much fun. And the theme for the Dollhouse Miniature subscription box was Sunday dinner. So need a kitchen for that to make dinner, right? All right, adding some tape here, and we'll just move along. Now that you know how all the pieces go together, we'll continue going. All right, next we're going to put together the cabinets. And the cabinets are pretty much similar. The only thing is the doors, if you ordered them operational to function, they'll come together already ready to open for you. Otherwise, if you ordered the kit closed, they'll come together closed. All right, so let's punch out the pieces. Couple things, if you find that they're not quite coming out like you want them to, just take an X-Acto knife or any type of utility knife, and we're just going to flip it over and punch out the back. There's these little slots that hold them in place, and they should pop out then. Okay, what piece am I missing? Oh, I need this one. All right, so let's continue with these. The other thing I just want to point out with these, so there's our handles and we'll do that. We'll punch those out in a little bit. And I do need this one. All right. So another thing I just want to point out, if you have any rough edges, you can take, one second, sorry here. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out quick. So that little one on the bottom, that little notch right there, that's going to be your indication that it's a bottom piece, because we're going to put a little piece of wood in there, and that's going to help the cabinets from not falling inward. And there, we got our puzzle done. And now it's time for glue. But before that, if you see any little edges, you just take some sandpaper and you can easily just sand them off. Okay, so now that my pieces are sanded, get a little more super glue here. We're going to find, before I put the shelves together, I want to get these shelf pieces. This is where our shelves are going to sit on top of. The important part here is you're going to want to make sure that they're even on both sides. And I gave you guides. So make sure that it sits on the top of the line, the bottom of the line, but they're the same for each side, because we don't want crooked shelves. So I'm just adding some super glue and glue to this. I am putting them in place. This is important to put them on before you put your cabinets together, otherwise it's going to be pretty tricky to get in there. Okay, so we're going to do a dry run just to make sure that it fits together. This is very important. And then once it fits together, figure out where to put glue. You're going to find also a pattern as you go. And there we go. Glue isn't coming out. So I need glue here, and here. And then just like before, just like the fireplace, once you get your glue into place, you're going to go with the super glue, a little bit on all places, and put that. Again, I love this trick. When I was at the Tom Bishop show, I was actually eating lunch and chatting to this lady next to me. And of course, we started talking about miniatures, and she told me about this trick, and I've used it ever since, and I've loved it, because I hate waiting for glue to dry. All right, kind of just hold them in place for a little bit. I'm not going to use tape here because it is pretty small, but you can if you want, if you feel like you need to hold it together. And you're going to do this for both cabinets. All right, moving along, we're going to do the fireplace seat, and that's going to go in front here, in front of our fireplace, and it's going to work just like the fireplace and the cabinets. Pop out all the pieces. If you need to use the X-Acto knife, if you need to use the sandpaper, if there's any rough edges. Now we're going to put it together like a puzzle. And let's get these rough edges. All right. So we're going to put it together like a puzzle now. And then I'm going to dry run it, make sure it all fits together. When I know that it does, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do this glue, then the super glue. My favorite glue to use for wood glue is Well Bond, but there's a lot of different wood glues on the market that you can definitely use. I just really like Well Bond. It's thick. It bonds well, and it's definitely my go-to. I think for this, it's a bigger piece. I'm going to use some tape here. This is just painter's tape. You could use any type of masking tape. Someone asked me if washi tape would help. I really don't think washi tape, unless you get better stuff than I do, I don't think it's going to hold as well as a painter's tape would or masking tape. All right, we're almost finished with the seat. Putting on my tape, and we are ready to go on to the next piece, which we are going to do. Let's do, let's do the mantle. You guessed it, it's going to be the same as the other pieces. Punch it out if you need a knife. If there's any rough edges, and the mantle is going to go right there. If there's any rough edges, we're going to use the sandpaper. I'm going to put it together like a puzzle. So these are the sides, the front. This one's a little trickier because it's smaller, small pieces. Making sure that all the pieces line up. Just holding this in place for a little bit. It's so small, I don't know if tape will actually work for this piece. So if you have any ideas for a room box that you would love to see, please reach out, let me know. Like I said, this is going to be a series, and I'm so excited. I love putting these together. They're so much fun. And I have a perfect wall that I'm going to display them on. That a lot of people, said, I'm running out of room to display my miniatures. So I thought this would be the perfect solution for that. And then this piece just fits in there, glue it, and your mantle is done. All right, next we're going to do the fireplace insert. This one's just a little different only because it doesn't have a top, but it's going, that's not right. There we go. But it's going to go together just like the other pieces. Finding where you need glue. And again, you're going to find a pattern and you're going to become speedy like I am here in this video. So the thing with putting the mantle is you definitely want to decorate it, whether you put stone in or however you're going to paint it, before you put it to the fireplace. Just something to keep in mind. All right, now I'm gonna move along here and just show you all the pieces, how we are going to put that all together. So like I said, the insert, I'm going to want to decorate this, but I'm just going to tape it in place so you can see where it goes. Definitely want to make sure to line up the bottom, making sure you don't have a gap like that. So always make sure before you glue to look in the front and make sure. So just for right now, I'm going to tape this in place because I want to decorate mine with some stone, I think. All right, we're going to put that in place. Just kind of show you where everything goes. This is our seat, our cabinets. Now, I didn't put the stoppers in, these ones, so that's why they keep going back. And everything should fit pretty snug. There's our mantle. Now the trim pieces, I'm just going to show you here where they go. This one will go on the front. This hides all the very rough edges, the little notches that you see. Gives it a clean look. Next are these 2 trim pieces. These are gonna go on the edges like so. So it's up to you if you want to paint these before you add them, or if you're going to glue them on and then paint them all one color. Next are the little other trim pieces. This is gonna go, okay, these are our countertops. So I'm definitely gonna probably want to paint those a different color than my cabinets. So maybe putting it all together like I'm doing here, and then you can visualize what needs to be painted. I'm just putting some double-sided tape just to tape it so you can see where they would go. This is just an indication of where your mantle will go then. You don't have to use these pieces, totally up to you. And then I know that my mantle will butt up right to the bottom. All right, so that was just a video to show you where everything goes. Next, I'm going to show you, this is where the bookshelf would go. And don't forget your countertops would be on the bottom of these bookshelves. Okay, now I went ahead and glued everything onto my mantle because I'm going to paint it all the same color. I still don't have that insert on the back glued. And squeeze it in here. I'll glue the insert when I have it all finished. All right, and then next I have these pieces all glued in. It's all going to be the same color, so I glued it. And there's our seat. All right, and then next is the mantle. And that is going to go right there. All right, the only thing I want to show you here is I did, after the fact, add a few more trim pieces. One here to cover up the sides. So you have one for each side. And then I did add another trim piece for you for the side of your seat. So it will go like right in there. And so those are included in your kit. All right, so here's the finished piece. Again, I hope you enjoyed this project. I thought it was so much fun. I can't wait to see what your finished piece looks like. Make sure to reach out to me, MikeDropMiniatures.com, or I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. My handle is @MikeDropMiniatures. All right, thank you for joining, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.